Hello everyone, thanks for joining Con and me for this recap and footage of the craft beer 5-miler. It's a half marathon and 5-miler, but I'm doing the 5-miler because I've never done a 5-mile race. I've done loads of 8Ks and they are so close together, those distances, you can almost interchange them, but there is 46 meters difference in them if you want to get really specific. So this will be a PR in the 5-miler, but hopefully faster than some of the 8Ks that I've run. We'll see if the time I'm shooting for is something that I reach. I might even come out with another podium finish. Yeah, I am filming this intro a few days beforehand, so hopefully by the end of the video I'll be coming away with a PR and a victory. All right, so Con and I are out here on a little walk. I've done some course recon for the craft beer 5-miler. I already kind of knew what the course was going to be like, but I wanted to go out and run it anyway so I could put a plan together. The first mile, really the first 2,000 meters, are going to be pretty tough because it's going to be mostly uphill with some undulations. And that will be on the road, be crossing Mallard Creek Road too, where there's going to be a lot of traffic. But yeah, after that, and I go around the circle there in the neighborhood, then I'm going to get on the greenway, which is going to be where it starts to get fast. There's a downhill trend for the next mile, and then it stays pretty flat and paved. And then right about at the 3-mile mark, maybe 2 3/4 mile mark, is where it becomes unpaved, but it's a pretty fine gravel. It's still pretty flat and pretty fast. It shouldn't take too much of the energy away, but it all depends on how much it rains between now and then. I think it's going to rain a couple days beforehand, but it'll probably dry out pretty well. So I should be able to be pretty fast, and there won't be any other traffic there. At the 4-mile mark, we come off of the greenway and turn left and start going up David Taylor Drive, which is back in the business park near where it starts, and that is pretty much all uphill with a few breaks here and there. But I'm just hoping I can have enough of a bank built in that I can, manage something close to 6-minute pace on that last mile. All right, here is the gear flat lay for craft beer 5-miler. It's 5-miler and a half marathon, but I am doing the 5-miler. I'm gonna wear Gooder Wrap Cheese sunglasses, Reckless Running Skull Crusher singlet. I think this might be the same singlet I wore when I did this race, but did the half marathon last year. I'm gonna wear Rabbit Speedster half tights, just because those are my regular race shorts now. I'm gonna do my warm-up in the On Cloud Eclipse, because then it will feel great when I put on my racing shoes. And I'm gonna be racing in the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Paris. I'll have the Injinji lightweight no-show toe socks, as I always do. And then after I finish the race, I'm going to put on my Achilles guide shirt, Achilles International guide shirt, and I'm going to get on the half marathon course and help Anthony as he's guiding Eric, the visually impaired runner that I sometimes run with, and just kind of help with the two-way traffic on the greenway, so it'll be easier for them running as a visually impaired team. And I may keep the Edge Paris on for that, or I may switch to the Hoka Cielo X1. We'll see how I feel. All right. All right, I've done my warm-up run. I've gelled up about 3 minutes to the start of the 5-miler. Got my race shoes on. Ready to go.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah.
that. Halfway mark, about 14:50. Mile 3, 17:50. About a quarter mile left. Oh. Oh.
You guys are getting excited by this one. Looking good.
First place, but only by about 10 seconds or so. The guy I just met, Sam, was keeping the pressure on the whole time. I couldn't see him except for a couple turns. Then in the last turn, it was definitely an oh crap moment because he was closer than I'd like. So I had to put the gas on that last little hill. 29:25, I think, is where I stopped my watch. We'll see what the timers say.
Good. So how was it out there?
It was good. I thought the weather was perfect, honestly. It was cool at the start, and I'm not cold right now. But yeah, good course. That hill at the end is kind of brutal, especially with Sam breathing down my neck. He didn't make it easy at the end.
No, you guys all look good, man. It was a heck of a day this morning. Like I said, the weather was great, and you guys look great. I was like, well, we should probably see folks in about 5 minutes, and boom, there they were. All right, so there you go. So what's next?
I don't know. I'm gonna go do a cool down with the half marathoners.
There you go, brother. Sounds great. Chaz Willimon, great. I'll see you at the...
Go, Meg. Are you relay with Paul?
Yep.
Awesome. Go half marathoners.
Let's hear for Barry. Getting that PR today.
There's my guys. Hey guys.
Hey, great win.
Go, 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 go! Mile 12. Come on, get it, get it, get it. You gotta go, Sav. You gotta go. 154 right now. Go, go, go. Go, Sav. Go, 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 go. Okay, so it's race recap time. I've had a meal, I've had a nap. It's a beautiful spring day, so Connor and I are gonna do this out on the front porch. He's gonna be distracted the whole time, but that's okay. So yeah, craft beer 5 miler, got the first overall win. And technically it's a 5 mile PR for me, 29 minutes and 25 seconds. They gave me 24.8, but I guess I just round that up. And that is actually a little bit faster than my fastest official 8K as well. So I hit an 8K PR, I guess, you know, a few seconds before that. The course was about how I expected it to be. The first mile, you know, more of an uphill trend, and I was trying to really hold back there, but still kind of put in some good pace, and I passed through the first mile marker in 6 flat. When I look back at my Strava record, it gave me a 6:06 for the first GPS mile, so that was, you know, not matching up, but it rarely ever does, so I'll just you know, whatever on that. I'm not really looking at my watch too much except for time. Once we hit the greenway, the pace really started picking up because it was a downhill trend for that 2nd mile and for the first part of that 3rd mile, and I was well into the 550s, low 550s. For the first 2 miles, the first place female was pretty much running with me, either shoulder to shoulder or on my shoulder or sometimes ahead of me. Her name was Liv. And she was quite a bit younger than me too. I think she was in her mid-20s. But yeah, I could tell from her breathing, you know, her more rapid breathing, that it was going to be, I didn't think she was going to be there for the whole 5 miles. So around the midway point, I looked at my watch when it said like 2.5 miles and it was like 14:50. Around the midway point, I started to pull away from her and was pretty much running behind the lead bike, which was a police motorcycle, and just trying to kind of settle into that groove, which I was able to do and still kind of maintain pace, even when the surface went to an unpaved surface, which was pretty groomed, pretty neat, and still pretty flat. Once we got into the back end of the 4th mile, some of the gravel got a little bit more coarse, but I could still kind of pick my lines and keep up a fast pace without really having my energy dissipated. When we turned left onto David Taylor Drive for the final mile, the uphill mile, I kind of took a glance over my shoulder and saw the 2nd place male. He was still kind of on the path before this little zigzag that led to the road, and I kind of guessed he was maybe 15 seconds behind me, could have been closer, but I saw him, and of course that kind of encouraged me to keep the pace up. I couldn't hear anyone behind me, but I knew then I was not running alone. So definitely tried to keep the pace and keep the effort up on the uphill mile, not really just coasting at all. When I got to the end of the last part of David Taylor that we're climbing, and we turned into the car park where the start and finish was, that's about 1/10 of a mile, maybe 200 meters from the finish, and there's still a little rise there. But I took a quick glance over my shoulder, and he was a lot closer than I expected. I don't know if it was 20 meters, I don't know if it was 5-10 seconds behind me, but he was too close for my comfort. Okay, so this is like the last 200 meters of the course, and I have it set at real time now, and this is the flyby function. That's me, and that's Sam right behind me. And if you do the counting, 1, 2, 3, he's like maybe 3 seconds behind me, so he was a lot closer than I thought. At about that point, I made that turn, glanced over my shoulder, that's when I saw him, and that's when I said, oh no you don't. So I started pulling away. I love the flyby function, it's fun. But yeah, this is that last straightaway, which actually is up a little rise. There's the parking lot there. Yeah, on into the finish, which is right there. And we know how that ends. So I had to lay on the gas there and really just kind of sprint all the way to the finish without looking. And I came in, was still in first place, 29-25, immediately looked behind me, and he was coming down that final straightaway. So it was a close enough thing that it was never a sure bet. I am happy with being able to hold on to the lead. I am more happy with kind of settling into a rhythm and having a good feel for the race, and never really feeling like I dug too deep in the beginning and had enough at the end, but didn't feel like I had too much in the tank at the end. I think the last mile, even though it was uphill, was my fastest mile according to Strava by pace. So I haven't even looked at what the GAP was. I'll have to look at that. Maybe I will throw that up right here and see. Okay, here's my race record on Strava. And Strava likes to do this thing when you label it as a race, that it separates it into fractions there, so might be kind of hard to see. The first quarter of my race was 7 minutes and 34 seconds. The second quarter was 7:14. The third quarter of the race was 7:25. And the last quarter, if you do the math, is 7:15. So it's pretty consistent, actually, with the first quarter being the slowest and the last being the fastest. And you can tell this is the pace as it's smoothed. It had my first mile as my slowest, my second mile as my fastest. But if we go down to the actual splits that Strava teases out, pretty consistent. This is a 5:51. That last mile is also a 5:51. So now let's go to GAP, grade adjusted pace, and see that guy bump up. Yep, a little bit. So that second mile, grade adjusted pace was more of a 5:56. That means I got a little help from the hill, but that last mile ran a 5:51 pace, which is a grade adjusted pace of 5:35, which means Strava is telling me I was running a 5:35 effort up that hill if it were a flat mile. So yeah, that was definitely from feeling the heat on me. So we're gonna move on to the shoe talk now. And I raced in the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Paris. I've already done a couple of videos on this shoe. I did a full review, and then I did kind of another review after last week's race, the Lake Norman Wildman Half Marathon, which was another first place. And I think definitely for the shorter, faster stuff, there is no better shoe in my arsenal than this. A 5-mile race like this, I might have chosen the Adidas Takumi Sen had I not had this shoe, but I think this was so much better. It was still light and nimble and able to climb up the hills in the beginning and the end without feeling like I was sinking into anything. And it would also had enough under it that when I was hitting those downhills in the second mile, I could really lay into it and get some of that nice bounce back from the Piba. It just felt fast the whole way, and it felt like I could just ease into a fast pace. Yeah, I don't know how much I can keep singing the praises about this shoe. I almost wish I had it 6 weeks ago for the Charlotte 10-miler instead of the Vaporfly 3, because I feel like I would have been able to hold up a faster pace more easily and more evenly, and I wouldn't have gotten any rocks stuck in the midsole because there are no rock catchers here. Sorry, something caught Khan's attention there. After that, I ran with Eric Strong and Anthony, who was guiding him for the back end of the half marathon, a little bit more than that. And I threw on the Hoka Cielo X1 for that because I had no idea how my legs were going to feel. My legs were pretty good. I could have kept this on, I think. But it was good to have this because it was a little bit more cush, and I could still run fast, and still I enjoyed having a little bit of that bounce with the stability of that very rigid carbon plate that's in the Hoka Cielo X1. And yeah, I ended up getting another 8 miles in at not slow paces, because Eric was maintaining after I met up with him, we as a group were running a good 7 flat pace, which is not all that far off his best half marathon pace. And yeah, he ended up finishing in a 1:33, and he does not like running on greenways because he just feels closed in. He knows the path is small, even though he's not able to see it. So that's kind of why I went to go join them, is so I could kind of be a snowplow and clear the way and make sure there weren't any runners blocking his path, especially when there was two-way traffic. I was thinking about whether this upper was going to be a little bit warm, because in the back end of the half, the day started to really warm up, and it didn't feel too warm to me. Foot still felt comfortable. After they made it to David Taylor Drive, where the road was nice and wide, and they just had a nice shot up to the finish, because I didn't want to run at 7-minute pace up that hill. I turned around and I found another one of my friends who was on course, Savannah, who I've run with and trained in the past, and kind of ran with her on the back 1.5 miles of her race, which ended up being a PR for her by about a minute. So PRs for a bunch of people. It was a good day to run fast, and it was a good day just to be out at the event. So I got to ring the PR bell for myself, and so did many others. So that's gonna end my shoe talk and race recap. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding the bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next run.